Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I should use it. I've got such a booming voice, I probably don't need this, but welcome to the first of 2 European premieres of Lifechanger. You're going to be seeing something very original, disturbing, unpredictable, and quite moving in a way. And we have the director, Justin McConnell, and the producer, Avi Federgreen. Can you both come down, please? Thank you.
Hey, everybody. That's a loud mic. Hello. How are you?
So this is
Avi.
Yeah.
Hello.
I just want to explain that this is kind of like an extended intro. There isn't going to be a Q&A. However, the guys have kindly said that if you've got some really burning questions...
We'll be in the bar downstairs.
Yeah, that's it. It's just an excuse to stay in the bar. You're right, so I kind of want to kick off with you, Justin, if you don't mind. Obviously, no spoilers.
I'm going to try not to do any spoilers. You haven't seen it yet.
Before I saw the film, I thought, Lifechanger. That's an interesting title.
Yeah, so, the Red Box people said it sounds like a self-help video.
Yeah, it didn't... So, with that, I suppose the question is, why did you call it Lifechanger? Can you tell the audience a little bit the inspiration behind the film?
Well, the obvious reason is because it's about a shapeshifter who literally jumps from life to life to life when he becomes a new body. So every time he becomes someone new, he lives in their life because the easiest way to hide is in plain sight as them. But if you look in Urban Dictionary, Lifechanger is defined as when you take a hit of meth that changes your life so much that you can never go back. And in this case, that hit of meth is love. He's never the same person after that. So yeah, it's sort of an analogy is the wrong word, a metaphor for that. And obviously, it's a character trying to change himself.
So, is this the pitch that you gave to
No.
Avi? How did that... so, Avi, how did you come involved?
Well, Justin and I have been working on various projects for a number of years, probably around 2012. And he sent me the script for this, and I thought, this is extremely interesting. There's all kinds of different emotional beats in this movie, which everybody will see shortly, that completely blew my mind. And I thought, this is an interesting way of telling a genre movie, and nothing that I had seen before like this. So for me, I was all in right away, and here we are.
It's a very demanding role for an actor.
Yeah,
How did you go about finding your...
Well, I guess to preface this, we'll say it's a very low-budget film, so in Canada we have a union and a non-union, and in this case we could really only afford non-union actors. So we did a big casting call-out, and we collected a whole bunch of self-tapes, and then the lead actress in this, Lora Burke, was actually in a film, I don't know if it played FrightFest, but a film called Poor Agnes, which played Fantasia last year and a few others, and we were really impressed with her. We still had to read, but once we had her, everyone else sort of, after going through all these self-tapes, I just kind of... We filtered it into the 4 or 5 actors we like for each role, and instead of doing a callback edition, I just had everybody meet me face to face, and we just had a conversation. And I wanted to know who they were as people more so than who they were as actors. And because you could already see their talent in their self-tape, but you got to kind of know you can work with them on set and that they're going to understand the material. And once we had figured out all the different actors, Elitsa Bako, the first form you see. I've known her for years, and I kind of wrote the role for her, but we still had a bunch of people read, and it just ended up that everybody agreed she did the best read. So that was lucky. So I didn't have to look at a friend and go, hey, guess what? Sorry. But long story short is, once everybody was cast, I held sort of what I called a boot camp, where everybody sat around a table, and I'd given them a long character history of the character, so they knew and could internalize who the character was and where they came from, and then we talked about like shared tics and ways of walking, and like specific mnemonic devices the character uses, so that they at least had specific things that were similar across each, because I don't want to see, I'm already getting into spoilers, so I'm going to stop.
Yeah,
But the point being is that they had to have a uniform performance, and it was all about sort of getting everybody on the same page, and us openly discussing that, so that they could bring ideas to the table as well.
Well, I crudely describe the film as sort of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the 21st century, which I hope doesn't give anything away too much. But I suppose it leads on to my next question, which is, given the sort of subject of the film, how much was it important to you that you tapped into social mores and things that are going on at the moment?
Well, I think horror in general is a reflection of the society at a given time. You know, when Romero made Night of the Living Dead, it was just, he cast the actor he cast in the lead almost by accident. He was just the best actor in the group, but regardless, he was still in a social time of the civil rights movement and all that sort of thing. And without giving away what the film's actually about or any subtext people pick up while watching it, a lot of what's going on right now sort of infused itself into the script gradually through rewrites and even through shooting and performance. And I'm not going to say what elements of what's going on right now, but definitely you've got to pay attention when you're a writer, and you've got to pay attention when you're a filmmaker to the world around you. You write your environment, you write what you know, you get truth from everything you see around you and your own politics and your own analysis of the world, and that sort of infused a lot of what you see here.
Navi, what attracted you to...
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, this is the first horror movie I've ever produced, of the 50 some odd that I produced. And, you know, traditionally the films that I've made are movies about true stories about people getting cancer or Alzheimer's or whatever. But what's interesting about this is, as I said earlier, is that it's real. Like, to me, when I read this, I felt this was real. I get it, and I can relate to a lot of the things that are talked about in this movie. And I think people in this room will also be able to relate hopefully, to the characters.
Well, on that note, I hope that's kind of intrigued and titillated your interest in seeing this film. I just want to say that FrightFest Presents, through Signature Entertainment, have acquired the rights for the UK. So we'll be releasing this film sometime early January, February. So just thought I'd get that plug in. So that's it. Enjoy the film, and as I said, I think it will make you want to kind of talk to them. I think.
And it's gory and it's violent and there's effects.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah.
We're not trying to set this up as this heady thing. There's fun to be had.
So
Come and see us after.
Yeah.